Breaking news: Tinubu moves to cut transport fare from October 1st. What if the biggest change to the cost of getting around Nigeria is no longer the price of petrol, but the fuel underneath the bonnet? What if a journey that has become increasingly expensive will soon become cheaper because Nigeria buses, taxi and commercial vehicles are switching from petrol to compressed natural gas? And what if October 1st become the date when millions of Nigerians finally begin to feel the difference? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says that is the goal, but there is a much bigger question. Will cheaper fuel actually become cheaper transport, or will the savings remain somewhere between the fuel station, the transport operator and the government? Today, we examine the number, the infrastructure, the politics and economic reality behind Nigeria's latest attempt to reduce transport costs. Welcome to African Global Opportunity TV, where we go beyond the headlines to examine the policy, investment, infrastructure and economic decisions shaping Nigeria and Africa. If you value factual reporting and deeper analysis, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says Nigeria commuters should begin to benefit from lower transportation costs from October 1st, 2026. Following his meeting with the Nigeria Governors Forum on Thursday, August 27, the president said governors had agreed to take immediate measures to reduce transportation costs in their respective states, particularly by exploiting the lower operating costs associated with compressed natural gas or CNG and electric vehicle. The federal government and the states are also expected to establish a joint committee to coordinate implementation. The announcement comes more than 3 years after the Tinubu administration removed the petrol subsidy in May 2023, and that timing is important because transport has been one of the most visible channels through which the consequences of higher energy costs have reached ordinary Nigerians. Transportation is not simply a mobility issue in Nigeria, it is an economic issue. When transportation becomes more expensive, workers spend more money getting to work, students spend more getting to school, traders pay more to move goods, farmers pay more to transport produce, and businesses eventually pass higher logistic costs to consumers. Nigeria National Bureau of Statistics operates a transport fare board that collects transport price across all 774 local government areas using more than 10,000 respondents and locations. That matters because transportation inflation is not an abstract economic statistics. It is something Nigeria experiences every morning. The World Bank says Nigeria have made progress toward microeconomic stabilization following recent reform, but household incomes have not fully recovered and poverty remains high. And the IMF has similarly warned that higher food and transport costs remain a drag on economic activities. The fund projects Nigeria economic growth of approximately 4.1% in 2026, while warning the higher transport and other costs could weigh on activities and worsen pressure on vulnerable households. So, reducing transportation costs could have an impact far beyond the bus stop. At the center of Tinubu's strategy is CNG. Compressed natural gas is produced from natural gas and compressed to make it suitable for use as a vehicle fuel. Nigeria's argument is straightforward. The country has enormous natural gas resources. So instead of depending so heavily on petrol for transportation, why not use more of the country's domestic gas resources? The government says a vehicle running on CNG can spend 60 to 80% less on fuel than comparable petrol-powered vehicle, but there is an important distinction. A reduction in operator fuel bill does not automatically mean a proportional reduction in passenger fare. That depends on competition, vehicle financing, maintenance, conversion costs, availability of CNG, distance to refueling station, and critically whether transport regulation and operation actually pass the savings to commuters. That is precisely why the October 1st deadline is significant. President Tinubu says more than 120,000 vehicles have now been converted to CNG nationwide, with more than 100,000 additional conversion kits in pipeline. The government is also expanding the refueling network through the midstream and downstream gas infrastructure fund. More than 100 gas projects are currently being financed. These include 15 CNG mother stations and 86 daughter stations, according to the president. And now comes to another major announcement. Tinubu says he has directed the rollout of an additional 500 CNG refueling stations. That is on top of the 500 stations previously ordered. The government planned network therefore rise to 1,000 CNG stations nationwide. The government has already commissioned CNG facilities in Lagos, Abuja, and Owerri. One Abuja facility, according to the president, has the capacity to serve up to 1,000 cars and tricycles and 50 trucks and buses every day. But there is still a question that cannot be ignored. Can the infrastructure expand fast enough to support the number of vehicles being converted? CNG is only half of government transport transition. The other half is electric mobility. In June, the State House announced plan to roll out 10,000 electric tricycles, initially through the Northeast Development Commission as part of the broader strategy to ease public transportation. But Nigeria electric vehicle ambition face a major structural obstacle: electricity. Reuters reported in August that Nigeria EV's transition is being constrained by weak electricity infrastructure. The country's national grid was supplying roughly 4,000 megawatts for a population of more than 200 million, while public charging infrastructure remained limited. That creates an unusual paradox. Nigeria wants to move transportation away from petrol, but electric vehicles require reliable electricity, and reliable electricity remains one of the Nigeria's biggest infrastructure challenges. This is why CNG may remain particularly important in near terms. What do you think? Will CNG and electric vehicles genuinely reduce transportation costs in Nigeria, or will other operating expenses continue to keep fares high? Tell us what you view in the comments, and tell us which country are you watching from. If you found this report useful, like this video, subscribe to African Global Opportunity TV, share it with someone who needs to see it, and turn on notification for our latest report on Nigeria, Africa, and the global economy. This is African Global Opportunity TV. Stay informed, stay strategic, and keep watching African Opportunity.